Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 versus 1 on the fields of Semois. In the darkness of Semois, we shall be watching two opponents fight it out, two high-level opponents, though obviously very different ends of the spectrum. We shall be watching the Roman of Iron, IronRoman, despised by many, admired by a very few select bunch. Definitely not me, though. Fighting for the Commonwealth, fighting for the 7th Armoured, for the 11th Hussars, moving out, and of course infamous for playing the Commonwealth in a very particular manner, which a lot of people don't find very amusing because it's not in some ways very varied. Opposing him shall be WMD Sandland, fighting for the Wehrmacht, fighting for the 16th Luftwaffe Field Division, composed of the, well, not the best the Luftwaffe can offer, but what they could offer, generally and formed into divisions. Initially they were under the control of the Luftwaffe, but as the rest of the army and the Führer realized that was a pretty bad idea, they were eventually handed over to army control, which also meant they actually had to supply the officers, because then Goering didn't want to be supplying officers to it. Sort of a bit of a miss up there. In some cases, they did tend to have better equipment than, say, a regular army division, though there does seem to be some disagreement on that from different sources. They're actually a bit hard to say on that one. And also note the start that Sand is actually going for. That looks to be a pretty standard start, but interesting enough, according to him, he was actually thinking he was playing against Americans. So, yeah, pay attention to who you are playing against when starting up the match. We'll, of course, have to see how this one works out. He will definitely might be a bit of a disadvantage. We do see a bike out. The first Grenadiers move about, securing points for the far length. I mean, fuel being secured right there. Roman obviously focusing very much on the fuel to fuel his tanks and his tea kettles. Forces moving down there. Looks like Roman is focusing very much on this side of the map. He seems to be not really giving a penny farthing about that part of the map. Instead, again, focusing very much here, probably going to take a much smaller amount of territory which he can then actually hold and hopefully avoid the Wehrmacht penetrating through every single crevice and gap it can find. But so far so good, no real engagements. That looks like the recce section will encounter some pioneers, and there we go, the pioneers run away before the Tommies can spot them and try to add their helmets to their collection of souvenirs. Bike continues to patrol about. A second squad of False Grenadiers, Sandland standing out a bit more mobily, aggressively, to hunt down the Tommies. Die verdammten Tommies. But so far, nice amount of territory collected, although I imagine the Brits will soon work their best to try and ensure that does not quite stay like that. And another infantry section out, so we're seeing 3 infantry section out from Roman, and we are seeing a lieutenant as well to support it all, although he's working his own ways. And there we go, the recce section is getting spotted by False Gun squads, and the bike simply pushing about, being a nuisance, ensuring the Brits cannot line up. The audacity displayed by this bike, giving the False Gunners ample time to line up their shots and shoot at some infantry section members. And there we go, one recce member down. Shot in the stomach. He's slightly wondering if he'll be back home for tea if anyone actually comes around to pick him up, which clearly won't happen. Focus them moving up against, again, you get another infantry section quickly rushing into the house, taking up nice defensive positions within the structure. And looks like we are seeing IronRoman converging on the town centre, where Sandland currently is not really that strong. He doesn't actually have a lot of units there. His infantry is rather spread out, and he's only got a bike really to slow down the advance of the Commonwealth right there. In the meanwhile, pioneers continue to sneak up on the flanks. That is good. Map sort of split 50-50 currently, although we can clearly see that Sandland and the 16th are working their best to ensure that does not quite stay like that. Sniper out as the next unit, still no MGs for Sandland. Flamethrowers being equipped to the pioneers. Sandland obviously intending to inflict much damage on IronRoman's infantry sections, thus ensuring that, of course, he'll have to spend a lot more resources on that, of course, slowing down things overall, since British troops are a bit more expensive, which rather reflects the actual war, where the British generally, by the time of Normandy, were experiencing, there we go, severe manpower shortage. and in fact resulting in a lot of regiments, entire divisions being disbanded, simply to provide replacements for other units. So that was a bit of a problem there for the British Army, and it also rather dictated British strategy, which then of course became a lot more slow and more oriented towards artillery again, to basically attempt that way to save manpower. Back here coming under fire. Infantry moving forwards, getting sniped right there. Sniper needs to be careful though he does not get hit, and there we go, flamethrower pioneers provide protection, and we do see the recce chaps getting run off. Volker still holding up here against the recce section, although looks like Heinz takes a shot to the face, falls to the floor. We do see the sniper quickly pushing up, looks like he will be hunting for some more Tommies. There we go, one bastard, and looks like, in fact, IronRoman is upgrading them all to recce sections. Interesting, interesting. So he's obviously just using the 10 to move about, harassing, while he then uses the more mobile infantry section to constantly harass and move about. Flank, of course, they will be less powerful, because actually recce sections, of course, will have more focus on speed. They actually gain some slight penalties then to other abilities, like, for example, shooting the enemy. And, of course, he can't then upgrade them with Bren guns or rifle grenades, so in that sense he's sacrificing some firepower for more mobility. We'll of course have to see how that works out, though we do now see a field support truck coming out for IronRoman. The household cavalry, no, not household, but the hussars, whatever, getting some Stuart light tanks out. Volksgrenadiers here coming under fire. We are seeing two recce sections opening up on them. The Volksgrenadiers quickly retreating back into the market square. Not much support though to be found. And the recce chaps up here running into a bit of problem, getting sniped, getting shot at. And we do see a Kriegbacks going up for El Sandland. And there you go, the Stuart light tank rolls out. And there we go, pushing out. Oh, looks like he might try a double recce shot on the Pioneers, quickly taking them out. And there we go, Stuart charges forward, crashes through the market square, turning over crates, boxes, and other assorted goodies. Panzerfaust, the unleashed bike, flanking the Volksgrenadiers, are holding out heroically with some sniper support at a far distance, in fact forcing away several of the infantry sections, in fact able to do quite a bit of damage to the Tommies right there. But there's still the Stuart, and I don't think the Panzerfaust will be able to overcome this piece of British light armour. So things are looking a bit dangerous right there. Although we do now see a Grenadier squad popping out for Sandland. We might see more on the way, possibly a pack very soon. And I can pretty much assume and guess, if not predict, that the Grenadiers will have a Panzerschreck to help deal with the British armour. Continuing on, there might be some Stuarts out to help keep that Stuart in working condition in the longer run. Territory at the same time, it's actually getting a lot more fragmented as both players are harassing. Front lines are a bit disintegrating, and we're just seeing sort of a mix come into things. As units are taking points here, there, and everywhere. And there we go, advancing through there, and there are a lot of territory, in fact, now getting cut off for Sandland, actually causing some problems there for Sandland in terms of resources, and possibly in the long run in terms of population as well. But we do finally see a pack ready. We do see the Stuart moving up. Panzerschreck fails to even remotely get close to the target, and the Stuart continues to fire away. IronRoman, though, decides to play it clever and pulls away. At the same time, we see the Volksgrenadiers continuing their work over there, intent on denying the British some very important munitions. It looks like that captain is in a very poor condition. And there we go, Stuart moving in on the other Volksgrenadiers. Sandland will need to retreat his brave men, or they'll become dead men. And meanwhile, fighting in the centre, Pioneers, though, quickly going down. We could see a recce shot on them. Looks like, though, they managed to escape. More fire, though, washes over the infantry section members. And there we go, another Pioneer down. We could, yes, there we go, Pioneer squad went down for Sandland. A bit of a tragic loss. Volksgrenadiers now equipped with MP40s, snipers, and some Grenadiers in an awful condition.
Location is under attack.
Definitely not fit for parade in Berlin. And we do see that IronRoman quickly and swiftly moves towards the armoured command truck, and of course again that's sort of one of the things about the British, they can very quickly take up, since of course there's a lot less for them to sort of deal with as such, which does make them a bit tricky. And again is also why a lot of players in fact just go for the Pioneer spam bit, so they can sort of quickly deal with that and possibly stop it early in its track, because that is usually how you want to stop a British player. Early on, you basically want to smother him before he actually begins becoming a problem. But let's go look at Sandland and the 16th Luftwaffe with 2 Grenadier squads now, which will definitely help a bit. Another Grenadier squad on the way, that will add him 3. And there we go, expert repairs on the sappers. That's definitely going to do nicely right there. In fact, he's going to over-repair the Stuart. Snutter fire continues. 11 kills. Quite lovely right there. And of course, a thing to note, we will be having the beta. Right, in fact, I should have mentioned that first, but I have so much else to keep track of. But we'll have the beta on Tuesday, 2nd of April. Beta time, ladies and gentlemen, for those that have pre-ordered in the first place. So if you haven't already, why not do so now and be guaranteed a place in the wonderful Company of Heroes 2 beta. And there we go, Recce section quickly taking severe losses. Armored command truck rolling out, crashing through some stone walls. Clearly the driver has added something else to his tea rather than just the usual bit of sugar. Stuart, though, continues to move about, keep Sandland on his toes. Packs moving about as well. Veterans on the way for Sandland's infantry, that is good. And we do see good usage right here by IronRoman and his sappers. He's actually putting down mines. It is so incredibly rare to see a British player actually lay down mines. And so to see even, and of all British players, to see IronRoman put them down is definitely a bit of a surprise. Well, fuel right next to this being resecure again. Constant harassment from IronRoman against standing again. It's partly due to all those Recce sections, of course, freeing off officers for doing that, but of course also allowing the Recce section to quickly move out and take some points. Stubing about here in support. Centre, falling Grenadiers entrenching themselves within the church for the Panzerschreck. Probably clearing up the interior as well to ensure that they don't get killed by the backblast. Whatever it was called, can't fully remember. 16th Luftwaffe Field Division's story in Normandy was perhaps not the greatest. It was rather called in to free up a Panzer division, but rather quickly got severely mauled by a full British offensive, caught in a lot of artillery and bombers. It rather suffered a lot of punishing casualties and rather quickly ceased to exist as a full division. But we do see a Recce section pushing in from there. We do see another moving up from the south, though, and getting stopped by Grenadier Squad. Veteran 2 on the way for Sandland's infantry. The bike, by the way, still there. And there we go, one Recce section quickly on the run. Grenadiers taking up position with their house, although they actually have taken a lot of damage right there. Down to 2 men on low health. IronRoman continues to again go for that point. Really consistent and nasty harassment. And there we go. The mark of the IronRoman, the Staghound, branded on his arm, I imagine. The mark of the beast, if you will. Ready to roll out them in mass, and of course the question becomes for Sandland, how does he actually deal with that? Volksguns moving up here, dealing with some of the Recce sections, going again for the fuel. MP40s tearing through British cloth and bone and flesh, and quickly runs them off, and some harassment going on here again. Really bold usage of the Recce sections, although in this case the sniper definitely proves to be quite helpful alongside the depleted Grenadier squad right there. And of course also note what IronRoman does before he sends them out. He actually gets them extra repaired up so they'll be even tougher. Oh, Recce section dodges the sniper fire. Bit of sniper fire against the Grenadiers inside the church. Another Staghound. Many more shall come. No doctrine from Sandland as of yet. I was about to say that in a very confusing order. Mines going down there. Sandland is clearly intent on fortifying the centre, imagining that is where IronRoman will be striking, and thus Sandland wants to ensure that's going to get very, very painful for IronRoman, but clearly that might not always be the case. In fact, there's a huge gap right up here. In fact, IronRoman could try base assault on Sandland, but he is getting more packs. He is, of course, aware of what IronRoman is going for, because IronRoman is not exactly known for being that novel in his approach to playing British. And a half-track out. I suppose there's a possibility that the Fusilier Battalion of the 16th Luftwaffe Field Division might have had a few, as I do have actually recently read some interesting information that the Fusilier battalions in some cases were in fact even armoured with half-tracks, on in some cases were motorised with just trucks. It's a bit confusing actually. There does seem to be some conflicting reports depending on who you ask, and some of the ones saying that the Fusilier battalion did have trucks, or in some cases half-tracks, were in fact German officers, so a bit hard to say, but figured I'd keep you updated nonetheless. Though obviously the ones with half-tracks would have been very, very rare, even with the trucks. And the Fusilier Battalion was basically the divisional elite battalion of infantry, part reconnaissance, part, well, basically fire brigade to be thrust into wherever there were bigger problems. Recce section right here, they're running into a lot of problems. Very wounded, and we could see them going down. The half-track could finish them off. There we go, a one Tommy down. And there we go, the folks will simply get caught out in the open. And it's just a huge mass of Staghounds and Stuarts. 50 caliber rounds, and there we go. This Volksgrenadier squad got murdered brutally and without mercy or remorse. And there we go, making the push for the north. And Sandland is just getting his pack out of there. He realizes he cannot win with just one pack here. It's simply going to get swarmed. So instead, he looks like he's pulling in towards the center with some plan. There we go. The Staghounds and Stuarts are rolling in. Even moving in there just in case Sandland might have mined that approach. And we see Sandland's response is sitting at a forward barracks in the church, realizing the base is lost. I will instead move the fight to elsewhere. I will fortify the center and force him to fight there where I might have a better advantage. At least I imagine those are Sandland's thoughts. Of course, he is free to correct me. There we go, bunker gone. Krieg barracks going to go down. Of course, question still becomes, what will Sandland do? Look like he's moving up the packs here. He might try and knock out the headquarters of IronRoman in return. A bit of vengeance. And there we go, Krieg barracks down, but the forward barracks is up. Mines continuing to go down. Again, fortifying the town. And there we go. Headquarters command track coming under attack. We do see a swift counter-attack from British infantry. Both packs now unleashing death upon the truck. Half-track has not been manned, by the way, which might be a bit of an unfortunate move. And looks like one pack is, in fact, getting quickly sniped out. And there you go. Grenadiers swiftly moving in. Lieutenant on the run. Looks like the captain is still alive, in fact. Interesting enough, there's been no casualty station from IronRoman. That might actually have benefited him a bit, but there you go. Base continues to get wrecked. And we even see a bit of support veterancy going up just in time, and we see he's gone defensive, and he's laying down a flak 88. Sandland is really turning the center of Semois into a fortress, defending it with all of his might, it would seem. So adding in some very heavy anti-aircraft and anti-tank weaponry, he's definitely going to make it a bit of a bother for IronRoman to try and knock him out. In the meanwhile, Sandland basically continues harassment, though IronRoman does the same. But at the same time, Sandland's doing his very best to ensure that the center will be safe, that the forward barracks will be safe. Otherwise, I mean, he's going to lose, and Sandland is definitely preparing for the long haul. And of course, there we go, the flak was revealed. The roar cannot be mistaken for something else. This is not a Pack 38 or a Pioneer firing, this is the flak 88. More Staghounds popping out. Pioneers are going to run into problems. Now all that's left is the Reich headquarters of the 16th Luftwaffe.
The unit has died with glory.
And the Pioneers went down. He's in fact down to one Pioneer squad. Whatever shall his response be? He's laying down a machine gun bunker, likely to protect the flag here, just in case IronRoman decides to charge it with something or pop in some commandos. And it is time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation grim for Sandland. IronRoman has unleashed the horde upon him. But Sandland is digging in here. He is fortifying the center. He's going to make it hell for IronRoman to enter and definitely give him a chance of actually destroying all of what IronRoman has in terms of vehicles. But I mean, in some ways it's rather, 50-50. In one way, I mean, IronRoman has most of the map, but he doesn't have quite full connection with it, and that is Sandland is taken care of. So in some ways Sandland is getting more resources. On the other hand, he's losing a lot of his capabilities for making units. And of course there's still this huge amount of vehicles which will cause him some problems. But Sandland definitely needs to, fortify the center further. He needs some redundancy, so it's just not, either these two go down and then Sandland is pretty much game over. But he needs to destroy this. I think he needs to reclaim the base somehow, at least get the headquarters back up. That would definitely benefit him. For IronRoman, on the other hand, get something else than staghounds, a few cromwells and whatnot, and otherwise, he needs to destroy this, possibly with some artillery and support, just basically just hammer down Sandland's defenses. That will probably work the best, but the question is, will IronRoman even bother with artillery, or will just resort to commando artillery? But let us go look at IronRoman and the 7th Armored, the 11th Hussars, which was a part of the 7th Armored, I believe. Continued fire against the headquarters, packs moving about. Harassment continues to go down there. And the victory points continue to drain down. Drain down, I mean. Staghound up there revealed. Looks like the packs might try and move in and basically deal with that. That could work out nicely. Recce sections moving in from one side. In fact, looks like most of IronRoman's infantry right there is heavily depleted. And a bit of sniper and grenadier going after the recce section right there. And there we go. The headquarters is down. The headquarters is down. A small victory for IronRoman. And there we go. Staghound taking heavy fire from the anti-tank guns. And the Staghound is lost. But a wreck. And there we go. IronRoman moving out in force. Flak fires, but does not quite succeed. It was too slow in turning. Pioneer squad down. British advancing up from here. Recce section very low in health. IronRoman again. No casualty station, no healing provided, and we could see a recce section finally lost. And there we go. The assault goes in. Commandos pop in. Stewart hit a mine. A full assault on Fortress Sandland. Grenade against canister shot. Panzerschrecks flying. Packs turning about, firing from there. Stewart down. Staghound down. Flak down. Bunker looks to be going down as well. And he just needs to reinforce this and quickly man again, I would imagine. Grenadiers inside the church are dead. Others taking up position in the empty bunker. Pack firing away. Other pack could turn about here. Staghound more out of control. He's down to 2 Staghounds. Heavy losses in the assault on Festung Sandland. And there we go. We do see another pack crew go down. But there we go. We also see the flak has been quickly recruited and could be turned against the Tommies. Panzerspielwagens. And there we go. Feuer frei. And nice hit on the Staghound right there. British troops and a lieutenant, in fact, going in right there. Need to be careful. We could, yes, IronRoman has lost a lieutenant. Absolutely brutal. Grenadiers quickly get into the church. Finding away Panzerschreck, but he's down to 1 man. He quickly gets out with dual Panzerschrecks. He cannot be lost. Sniper fire as well. And the church collapses. That was one hell of an artillery barrage then. That church was almost at full health. And the sniper goes down to the Staghounds. My God. This is very much a close fight in the center. And we see we'll see the reinforcement coming from a ruined headquarters, but there apparently is a bug from what I can see where and here's the thing, if you have a forward barracks up and you call it in, you don't get the pioneers with it. And it can even last for some time. It seems like it's a bit weird. I'm still not fully sure about it, but I think that's the theory I so far can come up with. But now Sandland is basically down to one bunker. If that bunker falls, it is game over. And that, of course, also means this is what IronRoman wants to destroy. Another advance from the British. The captain goading on a few infantry section members. The captain then quickly lets it, realizing he's not as brave as he'd like to be. And Sandland holds out, and the remainders of his grand fortress, the remainders of the church, a monument to his stand against Roman. And of course there's still the flag holding up by the wall of the market square, with 7 infantry kills, by the way, quite impressive. More mines, packs moving about. Continued Staghound patrols. Another Volksgun escort being led by an officer. Lieutenant Gottlieb reporting. Now, quiet settles on everything.
This is it, gents. German forces are trying to secure one of our sectors.
As again for the Fusilier Battalion, I've certainly seen cases where apparently they had largely the equipment of panzer gunners, in terms of they actually had 2 MGs per squad, which is a bit rare. So there's certainly some things going on there. And again, though, I wish I fully knew more, as the Fusilier Battalions were definitely interesting as a concept. A captain moving in through there. Again, another push by IronRoman's infantry. What little he has left. He's down to 1 recce section, although he does seem keen on the commandos moving in through the road, using that as a landing field. Though we do see the half-track quickly moving in. We do see the Volksgrenadiers and the Lieutenant moving into town as well. Commandos running into a bit of half-track related bother. And the Lieutenant and the Volksgrenadiers arrive as well. Commando suppressed. And there we go, making a push for the Flak 88, hoping to clear out that Kraut Ak, as the British like to call them. Commandos pinned down by the half-track. Volksgunners quickly pull up and support. And artillery getting called in. Again, an attempt to get that bunker. Again, if IronRoman can destroy it, it is pretty much game over, man, for Sandland. Flak has been decrewed, and we see IronRoman making a push for it. IronRoman has stolen it. The last few commandos sacrificed on crewing it. He might try and simply knock out the bunker then, but Lieutenant Gottlieb moves in. Volksgrenadiers, Grenadiers, and the half-track. And there we go, the Flak goes down. Gottlieb gets some bastard. He gets 2 Brits. Gottlieb is a hero. Plus he managed to run off that squad, and the bunker is not really much standing left. What is keeping it up is a complete mystery. And there we go, he finally gets some pioneers in. Finally, and immediately what Sandland does first is lay down a bunker right here, probably where IronRoman is not going to be immediately looking, and simply, ensuring that even if this bunker falls, Sandland is not completely screwed. So the fight continues. The 16th Luftwaffe Field Division, despite the losses, despite the damage inflicted upon it, is still holding out, and looks like Sandland is ready to take back the Reich headquarters, moving up his packs. And there we go, Staghounds taking fire. Infantry nearby in support, lots of Volksgrenadier, and some Grenadiers with dual Panzerjacks. Could be one Staghound will go down. Yes, out of control. Next Staghound running into problems. And watch IronRoman doing response. Commandos popping in. Likely going to make a run for the packs, but there's so much German infantry, another Staghound goes down. And now the commandos go for the victory points. And the Staghound is actually getting caught between a vicious crossfire of packs, Panzerfaust and Panzerschrecks. And there we go, the commandos are being engaged by a Grenadier squad support by a half-track. We could also see the Volksgunners quickly move down to counter-attack. Serbo squad quickly abandons the northern area, realizing there's going to be a swarm of Germans moving in, and they will not be happy to see them. Fighting continues, the commandos getting hunted down, and the pioneers rush back to immediately set about repairing the Reich headquarters, making it functional once more, and somehow managing to rebuild a French mansion. And there we go, the commandos are taking severe punishing fire from the Germans, and they are quickly run off. In the meanwhile, though, the center has fallen, the last bunker went down, but at the same time, mission accomplished, Reich headquarters saved, bunker up number 2, and he will be putting that headquarters quickly together. Commandos litter the streets.
Let's not cock this one up, eh?
More staghounds on the way, and looks like he's moving the headquarters command truck again. I wonder why. A swift counterattack being spearheaded by Volksgrenadiers. Volksgrenadiers and Grenadiers, more of them in fact. Looks like he's managed to get 3 squads through the abilities. And I wonder where the Lieutenant is. Not dead, I hope.
Germans are assaulting one of our victory points.
But 16th Luftwaffe moves forwards, bolstered by reinforcements gathered from the supply trains, which was in fact a common German trick. They usually take out from those supply units. The rear line units basically form up replacements if they couldn't get them from anywhere else, which was usually one of the tricks that German division could use to keep itself in the fight much longer. And was very commonly used on the Eastern Front. Commandos pushing forward. IronRoman himself, though, has been ground down. His Staghound mania has failed him. Mine goes off, immediately killing 3 commandos on the spot. A lovely sight. And there we go. 3 Volksgrenadiers, 2 Grenadiers, a Lieutenant, and several Pioneers, a half-track, and packs. So despite everything, Sandland's actually been able to muster quite a force. And we also see Sandland salvaging all the Staghounds for munitions. Lovely. Lovely.
Left track, over.
IronRoman's regular section pushes out against the Grenadiers and gets one, poor bastard. And another Briton dies. Bit of light skirmishing right there, the rest of the infantry holding up by the northern part of town. And we are seeing another Staghound out from IronRoman. Commanders push up again, intent on getting some kills. And the Lieutenant is ready once more, and you could see propaganda being used against the commandos. And there we go, force retreating. The commandos saving the day. Armoured transport here. Kriegberg's going up, and 3 Pioneer squads now for Sandland. And the half-track getting repaired. Lovely. And it's quite surprising they actually managed to survive everything. The Lieutenant covering his Grenadiers, and once more force retreating the commando squad for the cost of 50 munitions. And armoured car squadron made of nastiness up north, taking a few shots from the packs right there. And Roman once more intent on taking down the German headquarters for King George and good old Winston Churchill. But Sandland has once more managed to more or less fortify the centre with an awful lot of infantry this time around. And IronRoman is having problems dealing with it now, since of course a lot of the resources he had rather failed to, well, Sandland's spectacular anti-tank defence position. And another Grenadier squad out for Sandland, likely a Panzerschreck more. Small harassment attempt, and commanders moving in to support. Likely going to see if we can't flank the anti-tank gun positions, opening things up for the Staghounds. Only 2 now left. There we go. A 1 pack goes down. Panzer equipment on the Grenadiers. Another pack still firing though. For the Farmland pops up. Volksgrenadiers moving in. And Fraps acts up. Hang on. Another Staghound bites the dust. Fraps continues to be a pain. And there we go. Pack continues while the commandos break through the German lines. Grenadiers on the run for the fatherland. Still going on. The Grenadiers might be able to reinforce from the half-track. The half-track doing what it can. And there we go. Grenadier reinforced. Another one pops up. And there we go. It's the rest of the Grenadiers of the 16th Luftwaffe Field Division counterattack and glorious fervor. But the pack get the crew, but there's plenty of Panzerschrecks, and the Volkskrieger squad goes down as well. The commandos prove out to be two bastards of the Commonwealth. And looks like they will make it out of there, although a few Volkskrieger could turn that about. Except they're too busy trying to hunt down some recce chaps. Pack's getting recruited, Grenadiers getting reinforced. Sappers running into a bit of German-related issues. Pioneers hanging about there. Lighter skirmishing going on down south. Recce section is on the run. Pack's waiting up there, although starting to look a bit grim for IronRoman. His chance seems to have passed. The Lieutenant can once more be found at the front line, leading his men by example, except none of the men are nearby to seize the example. So Lieutenant decides to find the men, then pull them back into the fight or make an example of them. Staghound, the last one left for the moment. Panzerschrecks moving up. My apologies for the technical difficulties, although we've had some good times with that one for now, so oh well. Nothing on the way from the Armoured Command truck. The Commonwealth is in trouble. Grenadiers supported by a half-track pushing up. The Lieutenant also supporting. And the commandos lead the way, although in a less than sterling condition. Probably slightly upset with good old Monty for having them put them together with IronRoman as their commander. Volkskrieger here, they're running into problems. We're seeing once more for the fatherland pop up. The Volkskrieger is managed to make it into cover. The Lieutenant nearby will likely send away the largest squad. Or just run away. Ooh, mine and... oh, commanders just barely dodged the mine. So close. No nearby infantry. Commanders take up position within the house, firing away with their Sten guns. Nice punch and shake from the nearby house, although it looks like the Staghound is going to get hit by a lot more as it moves in. Oh, artillery getting called in on the house, containing one squad. Half-track Volkskrieger fighting up in the center. The Lieutenant still keeps the commanders inside the building. Lots of packs now being forced forward, and looks like a Firefly out for IronRoman. Interesting move, interesting move. I imagine it might be to deal with the half-track. Otherwise, I can't really imagine it making much sense at all. Well, the half-track is in a bit of trouble now. Come on, Fraps, behave, behave. It's the fatherland, come on, you. And fighting continues for the victory points. Although definitely not looking too well there for IronRoman. And artillery in a desperate attempt to cover up that central victory point, allowing IronRoman more time to drain away at Sandland's victory points. Grenadiers pulling back towards the half-track, ready to reinforce. And clearly someone is not a huge fan of IronRoman. I am not surprised.
They must have raided the Hilfsul to find you replacement. Passen Sie gut auf. Pay attention.
And Staghound advances straight into all of the Grenadiers with the Panzerschrecks and simply cannot suppress them all in time with its 50 caliber. 14 kills on the Staghound, that's nice one. Looks like he's actually getting Cromwells now. That's interesting, that's interesting. He's actually going for something else. Perhaps he's realising that Staghounds won't quite save the day for him anymore. And we are seeing another Flak 88 being put down. The whole back the Tommies. And Lieutenant still holding out. Commandos are going in. Could we see another? Yes, there we go. Once more, sending off an entire squad of commandos. Doing quite nicely there. And there we go. The flak is ready. Misses the Cromwell, though. Misses the Cromwell. It looks like the Staghound could go down in the centre of the town. Cromwell in a bit of trouble there. Gets another grenadier. And there we go. Nice hit from the Flugzeugabwehrkanone. And again, I'm really curious to why he went for the 5-star. Of course, it could be used against the flak as well, but it just seems like a really odd choice from IronRoman. Minor fight going in between the Volksguns and the Recce section. The Recce section is definitely on the losing end as they're out in the open. And looks like we are seeing a huge commando charge at the flak position. Bold attempt right there. One commander goes down alongside a tree. And there we go. The flak crew is dead. The commanders look like they will be trying to make a run to recruit it. But of course, they're grenadiers, they're grenades, they're pioneers, and a pack. And there we go. Numerous commandos dying horrible deaths in a desperate all-out assault on the flak. And there we go. Another commander squad completely wiped out. Cromwell charges in, but a pack gets it. Artillery getting caught in the pack. Staghounds charge forth. Commandos manning the flak die. Pack decrued. Staghound down. Looks like another Staghound will go down very soon as well. Sappers slowly marching forward. And there we go. Game over. IronRoman realizes the fight is lost and gets the bloody hell out of there. Sandland and the 16th Luftwaffe Field Division was able to hold despite overwhelming odds. Despite less than noble tactics. And despite losing his entire base and having problems getting in fresh pioneers, he was able to hold on and he was able to knock out IronRoman. So definitely quite a victory right there, quite a display. Certainly a lot of things to note there. Of course, how he used Fort Barracks, flaks, mines, packs, all that. And of course, also mines from IronRoman. Of course, perhaps not the most start he actually wanted to go against a British player, but nonetheless, he was able to actually make something good out of it. And of course, a medic bunker, I suppose, could have been a benefit, but overall, considering circumstances, Sandland did quite well. The flaks were definitely a good choice in this case. The packs were handled well, and so were the grenadiers with Panzerx, although, again, he probably would have wanted to go another way if he had fully understood what IronRoman was and not an American. And of course, for IronRoman, same old, don't just spam Staghounds. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.